Welcome to the Good Place Marionville Podcast, dedicated to highlighting the good going on right here in Marionville, Missouri. We're Jim and Martha Brangenberg from Central Place in downtown Marionville. In each episode of the Good Place Marionville Podcast, we will share the stories and events that feature why Marionville is a great place to live and work.
Our team will bring you updates from various perspectives, including reports from local journalists, everyday citizens, city officials, school representatives, businesses, and nonprofits.
Today's episode marks the beginning of a 52-week commitment to showcase the goodness of Marionville, uniting our community through shared stories of hope and optimism. Our town's potential and rich history deserve to be celebrated and shared, and we're going to do just that on this podcast.
So hang out for us for a little while, and we're going to cover some of the good this week. So let's start by talking about why we're doing this. Jim, why did you come up with the idea for the Good Place Marionville podcast?
You know, Martha, we're new to town in Marionville, just a little under 2 years, and it's hard to find out what's going on in town. And everywhere we look, actually, honestly, now that Jeff Norris is in here in town every day, we don't know what's going on because Jeff Norris knew everything in town. And we just thought, to take the place of Jeff Norris, we probably needed a whole newscast because Jeff always knew what was going on. So is it an honor of Jeff Norris? Absolutely. A good friend, Jeff Norris. But it's also an honor to all the great citizens of Marionville, Missouri, to help us all to know what's going on, because so many of you know a piece of what's going on, but not all of the great things going on. And we want to bring it here to a podcast that we're going to broadcast not only on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, and on Rumble, but also right here on Facebook.
So talk specifically, Jim, about why Good Place.
It's a good place to live. We absolutely love Marionville, Missouri. It's not just an okay place to live. It's not just fine, because fine means freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. It's a good place to live. It's actually a great place to live. But it just seemed like Good Place is a place where we want to attract people. Mm-hmm. We want people to come here because this is a good place to live, a good place to go to school, a good place to do business, a good place to go to church, just a good place to hang out at the local parks. It's a good place. We call it Marionville.
I think one of the highlights of that, Jim, is not just attracting new people, but for the people that live here in town and maybe just have gotten settled into the day-to-day and forget what a good place it is. It's so wonderful that we can honor and celebrate the things that are going on in all aspects. I think a lot of times on the Facebook pages, you see whatever somebody's interest is, just that specific area of it. And what we're trying to do here is cover the gamut, whether it be something that's, we need to vote on, or something that is just like a blood drive happening, whatever that might be, just a great place where we can collect that information and get it out to the citizens.
And many of you have lived in Marionville all of your lives. You just assume that everybody knows what's going on. But for us new people, it's hard to find out that stuff. In fact, some of you people have lived here all of your lives. There's new stuff going on, and you need to know about it. And this is going to be the place. We're asking all of you listening to this on Facebook, watching this on Facebook, to tell your neighbors and your friends, hey, tune into the Good Place Marionville podcast right here on Facebook to let people know what's going on in town. So we wanted to go through. We're ready to start. We've got some news stories we need to share already, don't we, Martha?
Let's do it. And we have certain areas, Jim, that we're going to highlight in city, school, first responders, business, random news, because there's always random news, events, and nonprofits, highlighting what is just happening right here in Marionville.
One of the things we've done is get involved in the city council. No, we're not on the city council. It's called the Board of Aldermen right here in Marionville. But we've gotten to know the mayor. We've gotten to know the city alderman. And we've been going to the meetings, which are the fourth Thursday. Is that right? The third Thursday. The fourth Thursday. Martha, you should figure that out.
The storm last month really messed us up.
It really did. I think it's the second Thursday of every month. That's probably what it is.
There you go.
The second Thursday of every month. All right. So some news that came out of the city council meeting this past Thursday. There's a new road coming in. Many of you noticed on 14, there's a new road being cut through, and it's got stopped. The mayor stopped it. Apparently, the people trying to put in the road, we're going to put a big box culvert on top of the sewer line that supports over 50% of the town. And because our mayor understands plumbing and understands sewer, he's like, hey, guys, that's not going to work. And so he stopped it. They're re-engineering it. We hope to have a solution real soon, but that's supposed to all be done and all the work along Highway 60 by July the 1st.
Very exciting. So, Jim, what's happening with the Logan Park?
There's Logan Park, a piece of land that was donated to the city a little over a year ago, just announced at the February Board of Aldermen meeting that a grant was approved in order to get us started setting up Logan Park as a park. We're still waiting for the money, but stay tuned. Some cool things are coming, but they got a grant. It's been approved. You just got to wait for the government to cut the check. That's always pretty quick.
All righty. Keep going with the city news because I think you've got a pretty good handle on it. And I just want to remind people.
Martha.
Like, isn't there a place where they can see minutes and things from those meetings?
I have no idea. We'll find out before the next episode of Good Place Marionville. You better write this stuff down.
I will.
Stuff remember. All right. Here's kind of fun. You know, sometimes you take pictures of your house so you remember all the stuff you have, and you take pictures of town because you want to remember. Maybe you're moving out of town, you're taking pictures, or maybe it's an old house that you have. Guess what's getting photographed in our town? Smile, everyone. Your sewers are getting photographed and cleaned out and documented too. You know, there's sewer lines in Marionville that people don't necessarily know where they are. So everything is getting photographed, cleaned out, and sewered. How about cleaned out, photographed, documented with cameras? They got little robots climbing around in the sewer drains. It's going to be really cool. Some new shrubs and trees are getting added to the square. Some old trees were taken out right along on the square and also on Mill Street, ones that were causing some trouble. And new trees and shrubs are getting installed soon. Keep an eye out. There could be a giant squirrel coming to downtown too. Will it be white? The city team is also trying to find a grant, listen up on this one, to build a recreational fishing pond right in town. If you love fishing, maybe you can help the city team in this effort, find this grant money. We believe that there's DNR money out there to help us build a little fishing pond here in town. Why not? Instead of driving all the way to Branson, you can fish right here in Marionville. Martha, this is one up your alley. At the last city council meeting.
Yeah, just talking about ways to decorate during the Christmas season downtown, bringing in some lights and things like that. So I love the idea of just getting some decor into the downtown and freshening up for the Christmas season.
Yeah, we love downtown Marionville. We, in fact, are in downtown Marionville at Central Place. And there were some lights, and we had our front lit up, and Smart Agency had us lit up. Bruce with the Clothing Distribution Center had it lit up. We are going to have lights on poles, some new lights coming your way for Christmas this year. Another really cool thing at the city council meeting, the Board of Aldermen meeting, I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to call that. This past week, they voted to set up an economic development committee, commission, council, sub-council for Marionville to attract businesses, good businesses right to town in order to bring jobs and prosperity into this town. We encourage you to come out to city council meetings. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot of stuff. And there's also a lot of people. I think last time there was like 15 people in town.
There were.
Not bad. All right. School news.
All right. So, just to highlight that I guess you do have it written down here. We have been participating with the Future Business Leaders of America, and it is so fun.
That's FBLA for those of you on the inside.
And if you're watching it on Facebook or, following them on Facebook, it's FBLA in the Ville. And I just love how they are learning about businesses. We have helped them with setting up LinkedIn profiles. We have helped them with interviewing skills, teaching them about networking, and they're, just so many great things. And Crystal Allen is the teacher that is over all of that and just doing a great job.
Teacher over like a half a dozen things for the high school, maybe more.
A lot. But we're just so appreciative of being involved in that and seeing how these kids are really investing in learning how to become good business leaders for the future.
If you haven't heard, we got a new superintendent coming to the Marionville School District, Mr. Mosman, who's been the principal at the middle school, moving up to superintendent for this next year. He's already been with the community schools, Marionville schools, for 14 years. And fantastic, Mr. Mosman moving up to be superintendent. Now, on the upcoming school board elections.
Yes.
There's elections.
Actually, there's elections on Tuesday.
Next week, there's
April
elections.
2nd.
There are no open seats for this year because Allison Workman and Carrie Stanton are running unopposed on the school board. Brad Wilson is the board president. But just keep in mind, if you want to get involved with the school board, there'll be an election again in 2025. And we're always looking for fresh blood, fresh ideas, and really positive people to be parts of our school board. Good news from the high school. This is something fantastic, Martha. And I got this from Principal Hopkins.
Okay,
Greg
tell
Hopkins.
us about it.
The school report cards were handed out for all Missouri schools. Marionville High School was ranked 4th out of 47 Southwest Missouri high schools and 51 out of all 549 Missouri high schools.
Wow.
That is class 1 through 6. All of them, they received a 79, and Principal Hopkins said that's not a C+, by the way. So awesome. Way to go, Marionville High School. Your students, the teachers, the administrators, way to go to have us really ranked in the top 10% of schools in Missouri. That says something. Maybe we got to keep it a secret so people don't move here.
That's so excellent. I actually got goosebumps when you were saying that. And I remember seeing that one of our neighbors posted on Facebook that similar type numbers for the elementary. And I don't know all the codes. I don't know all that kind of stuff. But this is why one of the things, I'm going to do a little shameless plug right here. This is why we need your help in order to get the information that we are going to share on Good Place Marionville. We are going to be seeking out, what do they call it? Roaming reporters that can call in to our phone number.
The non-associated press of Marionville.
Is that what it'll be?
Well, that'll be the non-associated press.
But we're going to give you some phone numbers and emails that you can use to reach out to us if you know good news like that's happening. But way to go, school.
Because I'm sure Sarah, the principal of the elementary, would have told us those things had we stopped in and asked her.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Or if we had her email address. But we didn't. All right. So just so you know, my name is Jim Brangenberg. Martha and I new to town. We bought our place in December of 2020. We live right downtown here, right near Central Place, right near the new library, which I know is not new anymore, but since we bought the old library, made it Central Place.
One of the newer buildings.
One of the newer buildings in town. So there was a need at the fire department, local fire department. There's been a need for new recruits at the local Marionville City Fire Department. And recently, Chris Bowling and I went around town and produced a whole bunch of videos asking people to join the local Marionville Volunteer Fire Department. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Chris absolutely hated doing them, but we've doubled the numbers of our volunteer fire department from 5 to 10 in the last several weeks.
Awesome.
Thank you to all of you who are volunteering. And please, we still need more. We need people that are in town during the day that can help volunteer as well. See Chris Bowling over at the fire department or talk to Debbie to get the application at City Hall. Speaking of the fire department, one of the needs of the fire department was for a chaplain. And Chris Bowling asked me to take that role as fire department chaplain. And I just finished last Sunday my certification for a master fire department chaplain, emergency services chaplain, 27 tests, 27 classes, but got that done.
I can vouch for you, Jim. You've been studying hard.
It was a lot. Hey, cool thing the fire department got to do. Okay, cool, but not so cool. Eminence Fire Department from Eminence, Missouri. I don't know where it is. Sorry, people from Eminence, but their complete fire department burned to the ground. Trucks, equipment, everything, building, all gone. Fire departments from all over Missouri gathered together extra equipment that they had, including trucks and vehicles, and brought them to Eminence. And our local fire department pulled together firefighting outfits and so uniforms and protective clothing and protective gear and some extra hoses that we had and brought them over to Eminence to help them out because they literally had nothing for their fire department.
Can't even imagine.
Something cool we learned about at the meeting this past week.
Yeah. Well, that there's a new medical truck on order. I don't remember what kind of truck or of course.
It's either an F-250 or an F-350. It's on order, and it's going to make it so that all of the medical equipment and all the things for when our local fire department responds to a medical need here in town, they can just pull out a big old tray and everything's easily accessible instead of clambering through the back seat of the Expedition.
Awesome.
Yeah. At the meeting, at the city council meeting last week, Chief Coatney, the police chief, said that the police department is going to start responding to medical calls on a regular basis. So you'll not only see fire department personnel and ambulance personnel, but also police department. If they're not involved in a criminal call, they'll be popping in and making sure that you're okay while you're waiting for the emergency services to respond. Very cool to see a coordination of all of our departments.
So as somebody that might wonder, why would they want to do that? Because they might be able to get there before the fire truck?
Right. They might be able to get there before the fire truck. They might be able to get there before the ambulance because the ambulances are all coming for Aurora. Maybe one of those police people will be right here in town. It's just to make sure that you're getting taken care of as best as you can.
Awesome. Okay. So in business news, one of the big things we know that's coming up is that we have Marionville Business Connect, which we host right here at Central Place, which is a monthly meeting for local businesses to get together, learn about each other, do some networking, find out what's going on, and better support each other. Our next meeting is April 9th from 4 to 5. Normally we meet on a Thursday, but this month it's a Tuesday. And it is going to be sponsored.
Tuesday, April 9th, my dad's 91st birthday. Happy birthday, John Brangenberg. Again, another new resident right here in Marionville, Missouri.
So our meeting will be sponsored by Care to Learn. We're very excited about that. And every month we have somebody else sponsor it so they get a little extra time to share about their organization or their business. And everybody listening, if you have a business or you manage a business here in town, we would love to have you come.
Or you like to do business in town. And what does it mean that somebody's sponsoring Marionville Business Connect?
Well, they bring the goodies.
Oh,
Cookies,
treats.
cake, candy, whatever that might be for them, whatever that means. And then we give them a little extra time to share in a little bit deeper sense what they are doing, maybe what they have coming up, specials, events, ways we can get involved, or just highlight their organization or their business, because so many people maybe know about a business in town, but don't really know what they do. And what's shocking, Jim, is we've had over 40 different businesses represented. And most people will say, I didn't even know there were 40 businesses. And I tell you, we have only touched the surface. So please join us for our Marionville Business Connect on April 9th.
How do they find out more?
They can email me at Martha. What should be the easiest way? You know what? You guys can do all the emailing through goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. That's actually the easiest way. And no matter what you're emailing questions or comments or news tips, that's where you're going to do it. goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
That's right. All right. And in fact, that last Marionville Business Connect meeting, it was the day that schools closed early because we're going to have severe storms with tornadoes the size of football fields. But we didn't have any of that bad weather. We're grateful.
Yes.
And Stephanie came over from the Manor and talked about the Manor and the work that they do. And somebody at the meeting had never heard of the Manor, and somebody at the meeting had also experienced the Manor. So it's a great opportunity for people to find out more of what's going on. The Manor occupies about 10 square blocks, maybe even more, of Marionville. You need to know what's going on at the Manor. It got great services for people, just independent living. You could have critical care living. You can have senior care, Alzheimer's, mental care. I mean, just lots of things going on there. Just a great place to hang out. And I heard that the salad bar, my buddy Jose from the Lions Club. Did you know we have a Lions Club here in town? My buddy Jose from the Lions Club said the salad bar is fantastic. Speaking of business, we do have a Lions Club in town. Randy Smart invited me to come out and check out the Lions Club. We've been growing the Lions Club. It is our only civic group here in Marionville. We invite you to come out. Man or woman, we'd love to have you second and fourth Wednesday of every month over there at Alice Irene's at noon. First time you come, the meal's on us.
That's so great. You know, there is so much that we have to highlight here, and I hope that you have your fast listening ears on, because we're trying to cover so much in this very first episode. You know, we did get an update during our last meeting as well that the Bank of Billings new building is coming along well, and we hope to see that open early this summer.
In case you like to play with mud, their parking lot is prime mud central right now. If you like to make mud pies, go over, make a few mud pies and have some fun.
I'm guessing it won't be that way by the time they open.
Probably not.
And we did have the new owner of Comet Coffee that came in a couple of meetings ago.
Has she opened up yet? We don't drink coffee.
I don't think it's officially open. She's doing some deliveries. But again, just good news that's happening here in Marionville. So Jim, do you have some random?
Where's Comet Coffee?
It's over by the Mulberry Bar.
Mulberry
Saloon.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right. Random news on April the 8th. Be prepared for the apocalyptic event of the month.
Or the eclipse.
Well, it's the apocalyptic event of the month. The eclipse is on 4/8. It's not a full eclipse right here in Marionville, Missouri. But in case you want to look at a partial eclipse, make sure you get your special eclipse glasses.
I bet you can go to the library. If they still have some, they were handing them out. And
they were selling them at Casey's too. So eclipse glasses.
If you go to our local library.
April the 8th, that's right, local library. Go see Jana and the rest of her team down here at the local library. What an incredible place that is.
Alrighty, so here's something that we kind of know about, but we want it.
And this news brought to us by our on-the-street reporter.
Oh, yes,
Caleb Norris.
So there are some upcoming baseball games and softball games that
down at the baseball softball fields
don't have anybody signed up to run the concession stand. So can you imagine going to a ball game and not having concessions open?
No popcorn, no pop, no candy bars, no sticky popcorn, no Cracker Jacks. How can you even have a baseball game without Cracker Jacks?
You really can't. So
peanuts.
Here's what we're throwing out there. This idea that it might be a great opportunity for local businesses to sign up and get involved in doing the concessions at the games, having a fun day out of your office, wear your business attire, you know, your shirt, logo, whatever, to let people know who you are and have your business cards there. This is kind of, we don't have all the official approval for that, but we're just encouraging you to get involved. And that's just one way. They can reach out to Jamie Bella at the school. Again, email me at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com, and I will get you in touch with that person to find out if you can help with the concessions.
Here's a
Fun way to get involed.
At what day?
I
What
really
week are we
think-
going to?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Definitely going to do it. If you want to meet us, we're going to be at one of those concessions.
We will go.
Absolutely. All right. So here's some news. Now, we've only lived here a few years. We've been to 3 Apple Fests now. We've been here 2 years, but we were able to come one time at Apple Fest when we happened to be in town before we moved here permanently. You know what's funny? We hear the rumor that a lot of people wait to the last minute to get a booth at Apple Fest. Well, this year, you better not wait. Already over 40 booths for Apple Fest, which is the 3rd weekend of September. Already 40 booths are paid for, bought, paid.
Yeah.
They're expecting maybe over 100 booths this year. Get your space now. We're probably expanding outside of downtown. It's going to be so big. You know, last year there was almost 2,000 people on Washington.
Yes.
Always get it's Washington
on
Central
Washington.
Avenue, Washington
Yes.
Street. Yeah.
As the parade was going by, we
Oh
were just
my-
blown away when it finished, and then all the crowds of people came down the street. There were so many people here for Apple Fest, and I somehow became the vendor director. And so I wrote
people in town.
I wrote an article about becoming a vendor and joining in on the festivities, and that is in this week's Aurora advertiser. And so I would just encourage you again to think about how you could highlight your business and bring it to the Apple Fest, where you have everybody right there in front of you for a couple of days. What a fun time. And that is coming up sooner than you can imagine.
Oh,
and,
don't say that.
you know,
Spring just got here. Now
I
you're
know,
bringing
but it takes
fall.
a lot of planning. But
Okay.
you know what? Let me just throw in that
Throw it in.
it is never too late to sign up to be a volunteer, to be involved in Apple Fest. It is a great way to get to know other people, to put in your own input, to give new ideas, and to see that event really come alive. So again, just email me at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. And I'm going to make sure I have to check that email all the time, because I know I'm going to hear from you all.
Yeah, what's incredible is there's a new stage. They got a new
Yes.
stage for this year's Apple Fest. There's going to be so many good things. You know, last year our vendors had so many customers, they ran out of food. It's not going to happen this year because they're going to be ready for big crowds. All right, a little bit more on the city section, because we want to make sure we highlighted that next Tuesday, April the 2nd, right here in Marionville, Missouri, there's an election. There are elections for city alderman, for the mayor, for the school board. What else is on the list?
You know what? I was trying
We
to find
actually have it right here in front of us.
So if you go to the Marionville City website, which is marionvillemo.com, there is a sample ballot on there. And so Marionville, we've got mayor, alderman. That's
And then
really
school board's on the
all.
front, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was right there in the
I
front.
missed that. You tell me about
and then
that.
there's board of directors for the Lawrence County 911 Services Board.
So everybody votes on that?
Yeah, it's because we're part of Lawrence County.
Oh,
So
love
just
it.
get
Okay.
out there. I believe all
Look
the
at
voting
your
is.
sample ballot.
Yeah, where do they go to vote?
I think everybody goes to First Baptist Church in Marionville. I'm not really sure, but I think that's the case. But here's the thing about that. If you
If you're not from here, you don't know there's elections.
don't know,
next
or
week.
it's been a while since you've looked at your voter card or anything, make sure that it is updated so that this fall, when we have a next election for our whole country, that you are ready to go and ready to vote and let your vote matter.
Yeah, register
how
to
you
vote
say it?
right here.
Vote
Make
matters.
your vote matter. Your vote
Yes.
counts.
Hey, we also have another thing about the city. We have cleanup day, April 4th and 5th.
Clean up.
So this is pretty
This
neat.
is like, is that Barney Day then?
No.
It's not.
Oh my goodness. So one of
That
the
song came to
things
my
that my understanding is you can bring certain items to the lot that's right between City Hall and the fire station. And that is where the collecting is happening on the 4th and the 5th. But here's my little,
And the information's on the cards, right? On their
I guess it's on your
water
water bill.
sewer cards.
It's also on the city website, marionvillemo.com is a great place to go. They've been updating that and getting information out there. So here's what I want to say. You may have a neighbor that maybe their yard looks unsightly. Have you ever asked yourself why? Is it because they're elderly? Is it because they don't have a trailer? Is it because they can't afford to dispose of something that's sitting in their yard? I think we don't always want to think the worst, that they're just sloppy. Maybe there's a reason they haven't been able to get rid of the things that are in their yard, that it's obvious that they don't belong there in their yard. It's not a yard ornament or something. So ask your neighbor, hey, can I help you? Is there anything that you need help with getting disposed of? I just think this is a great opportunity to take it to the next level and just say, not only is this a free service to our town, but we do need to get it to the lot. So help people do that. And see what a difference you can make.
Just be neighborly. This is an incredible town with incredible people. Just help your neighbors out. Hey, we could use some sponsors and advertisers on this show. This is a great platform for you as a business owner who does business in Marionville, or as a business owner in Marionville, to show your support for the good things happening in Marionville. And we want to thank the Bank of Billings, member FDIC, equal housing lender, for coming on board as a sponsor of the show. The great staff of the Bank of Billings is there to handle all your banking needs, as well as home loans and small business loans. Stop in and say hi. Bank of Billings right here in Marionville, Missouri.
So it's time for you to help. We are looking for a small army of reporters to get us the stories of the good things that are happening in our great town. So please reach out to me and let me know that you are interested. No, you won't be paid for any of the news, but we can sure make sure you get credit for your story if you wish. Email me at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com, or our local phone number is 417-677-8167.
That's goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com or 417-677-8167. You've been listening to the Good Place Marionville podcast with Jim and Martha Brangenberg. Listen, it's a good place to live. We live here. You live here. Let's make it even better. Share about this podcast, and we'll talk to you next time.